Hello, everyone. I hope that you're having a great day. Well, I was looking at Leave the World Behind again because it's something fascinating about that particular movie. But anyway, I think I have it figured out. And chances are you probably won't like what I say about it or that it'll seem kind of a little off. And again, I have said before, I don't really like details, so I probably won't give many. But this is what I think ultimately this particular movie is trying to tell you. Okay, um, I said before, I really got really tired of all the blue, but I think the blue is, it's a somber color, it's sad, it's calming, but it's also sobering. So I think the blue from the very beginning is trying to tell you something. And this person, Julia Roberts in this movie, says she really hates people. That's relevant. It's a white house with the blue car in front of it. That's relevant. Everything, of course, is relevant. But let me just get to the point. I think that this movie, well, before I get to the point, I'm pretty sure you've already seen it if you are interested in seeing it at all. But you have two couples. You have Ethan Hawke and Julia Roberts, who are Clay and Amanda, and they are feeling, I don't know, tired from the world. So they decide to get up and go rent a place for the weekend. Now, from the very beginning, I was annoyed for Ethan Hawke because I felt like, how in the world are you going to wake me up and tell me you've scheduled an appointment and you've packed my clothes and we're going that same day? I wouldn't be happy about that. To be truthful, I'd be thinking, divorce. I hate to be like that, but I'd be thinking, wait a minute, you can't just get up and decide what I'm going to do without me. Now, this is not gender fixed. I feel that way as a woman that if a husband did that, it would annoy me. And either way, like I said, I felt annoyed for Ethan Hawke. But throughout the movie, they have him wearing a shirt called Bikini Killer. So they're trying to tell you that he's henpecked. I personally don't really think he was henpecked. I think that he had a personality type where he goes along and that like they used to say, he's a type B personality, she's a type A personality. And if it makes them happy, I have no problem with it. But me personally, that would be very annoying. A lot of, I've seen some men with their reviews or such stating that he was so wrong because he's not being the head and he's not this. I think he's just being himself, and God wouldn't make pushy women and quiet men if those personality types weren't allowed. But that also is an aside. Now, here you have Okay, back to the plot. So you have Clay and Amanda, and they're Caucasian. They're renting a house for the weekend. Here you have Mahershala Ali. He is the owner of the house, and he has a secret. I think also the fact, I know you're going to say he's wearing a tux, but I think the fact that he is wearing something that is black on the outside and white on the inside is telling you he is very white identified. He's white surrounded as far as I can see. But in any case, he owns the house. Um, but he and his daughter went to the went to a concert or something like that, and there was a blackout. So they decided to turn around and come back. Now, Julia Roberts catches him with a discrepancy, a mild discrepancy in what happened. At one point, he said that they were on the road back when the lights went out, and another time he said that they were in the concert. So it's letting you know that it's making him a very mysterious character. Now, I have a habit of looking up the zodiac signs of the characters. He's an Aquarius. Now, I'm an Aquarius. I don't tend to think that we're mysterious, but I did read somewhere else that the most mysterious sign is Aquarius. I don't know. I think maybe we aren't trying to be. Um, I always thought the most mysterious sign would be Scorpio, which is what Julia Roberts and Ethan Hawke are. But Another thing that I think people haven't paid much attention to is the daughter. Clay and Amanda have a daughter named Rose. Rose is obsessed with the film, with the show Friends, the 90s show Friends. And she goes throughout the whole movie trying to find the ending. Now, the reason I'm bringing that up is because Aquarius rules Friends. So I think that that's relevant. Like I said, when they're casting these movies, they don't just cast only on your talent. They look for the most talented person of a specific sign, I think. So, or else it's a blending of both. But in any case, this is Rose. She is the daughter of Clay and Amanda. And here's the scene that is almost popular among the movie because it's showing the black people outside and the white people inside. But I think also the color is important and that she is often in gold. This is Mahashara Ali. His name is GH or George, and this is his daughter Ruth, played by Mashallah. Okay, she's often in a shade of gold. I think that they're possibly telling you she's like royalty or something here. But yeah, I noticed that. And there are certain scenes that they're showing her in profile where she looks like Nefertiti. So, and here I think this bikini is it's either blue or purple. Somebody else was saying those are the Phoenix colors. Here she is again in that same shade. Now, the first thing to me that gives you a clue this has something to do with race is that this ship is the White Lion. Now, a lot of people will tell you that that White Lion ship, it is referring to the first ship that brought African Americans to America as slaves. I think what you have to notice is that this ship comes onto the sand and it stays there. And I think that it's telling you, you're not getting out of here, black people. Now, there's a scene when Julia Roberts first goes into the house. She's walking up the stairs, and they're playing this song about never gonna let you go. And I kept thinking, what does that song have to do with anything? I think it's kind of telling you, as far as African Americans are concerned, that you, now, like I said, this is all speculative, but I think it's saying that we're never gonna let you go. It's kind of like when the first Exodus, when Moses went before Pharaoh, and Pharaoh kept saying, "I will not let you go." I think that it's being repeated here. I don't see a clip where she's going up the stairs, but there is a scene where Julia Roberts is walking up the stairs in um, GH and Rue's home. It's here. Of course, you can't hear it. You can't see that she's going up the stairs. You can only see that she's on the landing. But before that, she was walking up the stairs and they were playing that song. And I kept thinking, why? Why are you playing this song? And I think that the reason is because it's telling now, I think it's telling African Americans never gonna let you go. And I couldn't figure out the print in this dress because I thought it was so unattractive. It's brown and white. If you notice in the movie, they show you a lot of scenes where, not a lot, but they show you a scene where I think she's looking at black coffee, and another scene where Mahershala Ali is, or GH, is stirring coffee with a little cream in it. And even this picture, this is the picture of and GH and Ruth's home. And in it, there are a lot of blue eyes just watching everything that they do, which I thought was a very interesting picture. But I think that that is the point in the picture. It's telling you that GH and Ruth are watched by blue eyes mostly. There are some brown or black in there somewhere, but mostly it's blue. And like I said in the other video, I think it's telling you something. The fact that, now see, look at that dress. I just thought it's an extremely unattractive print. And it's not even a even print. It goes up into a circle like an 8 or something. I just thought, ugh. But Yeah, and even that eight could signify infinity or something. But what I was saying originally is that if you look back from the very beginning, there is a very distinct contrast between father and daughter with GH and with GH and Ruth. And of course, that's definitely not accidental. But generally, in order for someone as dark as Mahar, well, I'm sorry, I got it right before, and Ruth here to be father and son, like I said, he'd have to either be with a non-black woman or at the very least a woman who was extremely close, well, mixed, but having a lot more dominant non-black genes than otherwise. So I think it's telling you that here, this man is in an all-white neighborhood and his wife also is non-white. I think it's also telling you that that is the way to success for African Americans, and they've been telling you that for the longest. And again, not trying to argue, but if you have something to say about it, if you can say it nicely, it would be much appreciated. And again, this ship, it comes on to the shore, it stays there. Right after they got finished singing, Never Gonna Let You Go. And again, I think you might want to pay attention to this map because it's showing you some places are going to be more dangerous than others. But I do think that there will be a second exodus. So hopefully, maybe we'll be going out of here by then. I don't know. But I think that ultimately, oh yeah, and here is Kevin Bacon. Again, this is another friend of GH. GH has, as far as I can see, they don't show any other black people here. There were a few at the beach. At the beach, they were mostly all wearing blue, different shades of blue. Again, even he has on blue. I saw in another video that stands for security. I think it also stands for I think he's wearing blue too. I think it stands for the general mood of the society, that it's somber, that it's knowing something's not right, but it's feeling that we don't know what to do to fix it. We just feel it. Again, here, even here, with the driverless cars, they're all white. I don't know if they only make driverless cars in white. I don't think that's the case. I don't know why they're all white here. But the thing is, they're blocking the road. They can't get out. If these people can't get out, if the Caucasians can't get out, if there are any black people there, they probably can't get out either. But another thing is that, well, this has nothing, as far as I know, to do with race or anything, but I had wondered where are the people at? And I think just in terms of people looking at survival, I think what happened was the people had they had like a summer home. GH even says that he didn't expect there would be many people around at that time of year, but they have like a summer home or someplace they go um, like, I don't know, Airbnbs or something, places that they rent out, and maybe even a bunker, like the Thorns had a bunker. The thing is, the roads are blocked. They couldn't get to them because I kept wondering, well, where are the people at? Now, the Hispanic woman, I don't think that they show her on here, but the Hispanic woman who was speaking to Clay, I wondered, well, you say you're away from your house. How did you get away from your house? Did you just wake up like the Twilight Zone and suddenly you were there? I think that might be speaking to the migrant issue right there. But, I don't know. And as far as I can see, they didn't. I'm just looking at the trailer and they didn't show her on the trailer. So I think again, it's another incident of you can't get out, you can't get in. Even if you have a bunker, can you get to it? And the survivalist here is Kevin Bacon, who admittedly I never paid any attention to him one way or the other until he made the commercial for, yeah, I think it was for an electric car with his daughter. And I thought, oh, he's so cute. I don't mean necessarily physically, I just meant the way he acts. And again, here, I thought he was still cute, even though he's being mean. Well, actually, not in a way, not really being mean. If you don't know how long something's going to last, you don't know how much you can share with other people because you don't know how much you're going to need. So, he was also a contractor. That was one of those things that GH said that was kind of like, it didn't seem like it was going to be important. But if you think about it, like someone asked, well, if Kevin Bacon here knows what's going on and he's telling you to go to the Thorns because they have a hidden bunker, but he's not trying to go, maybe the answer is because he's a contractor. He also has a hidden bunker. But that also is an aside. But uh, a few, as far as I can see, I saw one black guy, black to Africa, who had a problem with Julia Roberts being the one who was driving, and that she told her husband to get in the car. But I still feel like under emergency circumstances, she didn't have time to explain that, dear, the roads are blocked by unmanned cars, and the cars that are coming up, the one that you're trying to flag down, may run you over or hit the children. So could you please get back in the car? That would take a lot longer to explain because he probably would have questions like, are you sure? Let me go see if it's an emergency. I mean, if it's an unmanned car. It's a lot quicker to say, get in the car. Trust me, I'm not telling you to get in the car for no reason. And again, that's genderless. I don't think it would matter if it was him screaming at her or her screaming at him. I do think both sexes should be respected, and that respect should not just be in one direction. But the major thing I'm trying to get out here is I think that this movie is telling. Okay, I forgot the one scene. I don't think they have it, but it links back to 1619, and Clay sees that. And I think the reason they gave him the name Clay is a biblical reason because it told you Adam was made from clay. Now, of course, Hebrew Israelites will say, well, I think almost anybody would kind of figure, well, if I take a bunch of clay and I put water in it and I form a figure, a human figure, it's not going to be white. But I think a lot of times people, when they think about Adam and Eve, they ignore that and figure Adam was the first man. He was made from clay. He, here, clay is white. So I think that's why you have the name Clay, and I still think the name Amanda. The reason why they did it is because they named her Amanda. I speculate is because it has the name Man in it. They have Clay wearing Bikini Killer all the time. They're telling you that he is henpecked and weak, and that Amanda has the name Man in her name. She's the man in the relationship. Every time they show Clay and Amanda in bed, they always show him in the lower position. He's like laying down, she's halfway sitting up. And she is rather ill tempered, it seems, or quick to take offense, quick to say something. But I think it also says something about the sexes and the races in that when she when she is talking, Mahash Mahashala always takes her side against his daughter. He will tell his daughter to kind of hush whenever she gets into any kind of altercation or something. It's not even an altercation. They just kind of snipe back at each other, she and Julia Roberts. And he always takes Julia Roberts' side when he needs to go out and find someone to take care of their son. Julia Roberts and Ethan Hawke's son is named Archie. And even his name, Archie, he's kind of verbally abusive, like a verbal archer to his sister. And she pays it no attention. She says, ouch, Archie. And he puts things in her drinks. He dunks her in the pool. I kind of think the little boy is a little bit on the abusive side, but that also is an aside. Another scene where they show a map, and The map shows certain areas that are going to be more dangerous than others. I think I already said that, but another thing with the map, they show it divided four different ways. And again, like I said, they often show uh, Mashallah in gold. I think that they're trying to tell you that she is in some way kind of like royalty, but they don't show it here. There's another scene where they show the map and they show it upside down, and then they show her upside down. Then she sits up. I think they're telling you something. I think also when they show um, Mahershala and Julia Roberts dancing, I think that they're telling you about the sexual relationship between white men, black women, or just across the races altogether. I think, yeah, a lot of things are going on in this particular movie. That's why it's so fascinating. But I think ultimately what it's telling you is that I think it's going against the whole idea of the second Exodus. I think it's telling black people, you are here. You've been here since 1619. That big oil tanker you saw, it's ashore. As far as we're concerned, it's not getting back off because we're never going to let you go. And that there is a scene. Now, I wondered about Mashala's hair, and I know that that sounds bizarre, but she had a big puff on the back of her head for the beginning of the movies. And of course, it was very pretty. It's very attractive. I'm not saying anything about anything like that. I'm just saying that it reminded me of the bust of Nefertiti or some other bust I saw, some other royal woman. That's why I got the impression they're trying to tell you that in some way she is like royalty. There is kind of a example of the bust I was talking about. In the beginning of the movie, her hair was with a bust in the back, like you see here, and can't see it as well, but it's kind of like that here, though it's a little looser. Oops. Okay, but toward the end of the movie, her hair changes. Toward the end, and as you can see, she's still wearing gold, but her bun is a lot smaller. There was a scene that I'm just looking at the trailer where there's a scene in the actual show video where she is in the basement talking to her father. No, she's in the kitchen. And I think she's talking, not in the basement, she's in the kitchen with Julia Roberts and her father. And you see her profile. And it looks a lot like the profile for Nefertiti. But in any case, my point is that I think that this movie, okay, this is the scene where the map of the United States is upside down, and it shows her upside down. And again, she's wearing purple. It's another sign for royalty. She's either wearing gold, uh, or purple, or a color that I'm not sure. I have a problem with blue and purple because there's no solid line between what's blue and what's purple like. But in any case, right before in the actual show, right before this, you're going to see her laying down. They're going to show you a divided map of the United States and her upside down under the map, and then she sits up. So I think it's telling you something about maybe the status of black women or what or the divided United States. Even though I may not be able to tell you what something means, I can tell you I do think it's probably relevant. But I think that ultimately, like I said, all these things aside, the movie is basically telling you that black people need to make friends with white people, and even if it means giving up some of your stuff and having to live in your own basement or less than what you have, no matter how elevated you are, you still need to be flexible enough to be friends, to help out, and that even people who definitely seem like they did not have any great respect for black people, like the character Julia Roberts here. Even so, you might need to get along with them, and that, might be easier for black men to get along with them than black. Now, that's debatable. I'm not trying to say anything bad about black men, but it's basically saying that, you know, you might have to, be flexible. But the thing is, I'm not saying I agree with this. I'm simply saying I think that's what this movie ultimately is telling you. Because, like I said, Rose has a thing for the movie, the TV series Friends. Her whole thing is whatever happens in the world, I'm I'm scared, I can see it, but I'm gonna ignore it and focus on Friends. Okay? And the lead character, Mahashala GH or George, is an Aquarius. And he seems to be, at least from what I can see, a very white identified Aquarius. He's very elegant. I like that word for him. But I do think that that is what the movie's telling you. I think that the person in opposition to this is his daughter Ruth, who is like, well, why are you taking care of these people? And here he's even willing to risk his life for he's willing to risk his life for Julia Roberts and Ethan Hawke's son while he left his daughter alone with well, at the moment she was alone in the house. Now, I think that they said she's a college graduate, so she's around 21 or 22, but she's still relatively young, especially considering that what's happening in the world is unusual. But he goes off and he leaves her. Oh, and one last thing, Rose. I think it's telling you something about Rose's name. It's not a usual name for this time, but I think the fact that her name is Rose and the place she ran to, or they all ran to, was called the Thorn. It was the home of the Thorns, or the Thorns family. So I think that it was really I've watched it a few times because it's kind of like I would I look at a review and go, oh, wow, I didn't see that. Oh man, that's deep. And each time I saw it, I saw something different. But ultimately, it came down to me to telling you, yes, we do see that you people, you black people came here in 1619. You came here in the bottom of ships. Um, the bottom of that ship was red like blood, and also the floor of the basement that Mahashala or G.H. George and Ruth are staying in it has a red rug on it. So I think it's telling you it's related to black people. I think also in the beginning when Julia Roberts is walking up the steps and it says never gonna let you go, I think it's telling you something right there. I think it's telling you that well, this country doesn't plan on giving you reparations, and even if it does, it plans on you staying here and using them here. Now, oops, I don't know if I'm allowed to even show that. But again, this is not saying I agree with it. I'm saying I think that's what the movie might be showing you. I don't know, didn't make it, didn't write it, didn't direct it, produce it, or anything else. But that's kind of what I think at the moment. So let me know what you think, and I truly appreciate your listening. And have a great day.